huge part of doing a lot is letting go of that perfectionist mindset. I'm sorry to tell you, it's just the truth. If you want to do a lot, you're going to have to let go of doing it to the highest standard the first time you do it. And I strongly believe that you can grow doing multiple things and that it will work out for you and that you can reach a level that you're happy with in an amount of time that's acceptable. Hello, welcome to Empowermente. Thank you so much. If you're a person that comes back to listen, make sure that you follow the podcast and that you rate it. It's really the best way to support me and my work to ensure that it gets as many people as possible. Today, we're going to cover part 2 of productivity hacks. In part 1, I didn't really tell you my ADHD story, and I want to touch on it just for a bit. I am a person who grew up thinking that she was normal. But when I got diagnosed with ADHD, everything made sense. I was always really forgetful, always really clumsy, always had trouble focusing unless something was urgent, unless something needed to be done immediately, unless something was new, or unless something was extremely interesting to me. I am giving you all these hacks regardless if you have ADHD or not, but I'm just telling you this is from a person who has ADHD and has used these hacks to be the most productive person. If I were to talk to myself a year and a half ago, I wouldn't be able to recognize myself because I am a person who is very productive. I get so many things done during the day from start to finish. I take advantage of every single moment, and I'm just incredibly proud of the type of lifestyle that I built. So right now, I'm going to share all the hacks that have worked for me. And for some context and for some credibility, I am a content creator. I am a person who has a podcast. I have a group coaching program. I do public speaking engagements at conferences and organizations and schools. I also do one-to-one coaching that is available now. And I also have my own coach and I'm part of another program. Just to say, I also work out nearly every day and spend time with my partner. I really think it's about how you approach things. And I think that's what this guide is really about. I'm going to tell you 7 of the key things that I highlighted in the guide. If you want to listen to part 1, that was available last week. And if you want to learn more and have the copy of the guide where I share all the hacks that I know, please download it by checking out the link in the show notes. And hopefully this helps you out. So now that we did an introduction to the topic, let's go ahead and get started with the 7 productivity hacks that were life-changing to me, and I hope that they're life-changing to you. The first concept is called wind up and wind down routines. This is a concept that I learned from Jose, my partner, because I feel like I am the type of person who goes from 0 to 100 real quick, but I've found like really amazing success in winding up and winding down. And what do I mean by that? Winding up at the beginning of the day, starting slow, increasing, and then peaking, and then slowly winding down. And same thing for the week. Don't have the hardest things to do on Monday. Go slow and have your week peak be Wednesday or Thursday and then go back down. So don't dive right into work after you wake up. Give yourself some time to actually take a breath of fresh air, take your vitamins, like maybe read and journal a little bit, like take that peace and time for yourself, because when you create that space physically, you also create that space in your mind. And when you have that peace of mind, you're able to focus a lot better. I feel a lot of my ADHD symptoms had to do with survival mode and being on the go. And it's a paradox because I'm teaching you how to be more productive, but at the same time, part of being productive is slowing down and taking time for yourself. You really think you're gonna save all this time by, instead of meditating for 5 minutes, doing another work for 5 minutes? It's not gonna work for you, baby girl. You need to take that time to breathe. And similarly, as you're not gonna do the hardest thing as you wake up, when you're going to bed, please wind down. Don't go to bed right away. If you go to bed right away, you're going to go with a peak of stress hormone, which is your cortisol. It's going to be hiked up, and then it's going to take you longer to get to REM sleep. So I would recommend reading, journaling. I personally picked up a new hobby of coloring into an adult coloring book, and I've personally been enjoying it so much. This is going to signal your brain that it's time to relax. And it's very helpful to really actually get a good night's sleep. So a lot of these tips are like interconnected. So that was number one, wind up and wind down routines. The second is a protein-packed breakfast for sustained energy. I am a believer in holistic health and holistic medicine and a holistic view of everything. And when you have trouble focusing or you have trouble with ADHD, most of the time it has to do with other things. It's either a response of a continuous stress response that happened from you when you were a child to now, or maybe right now you're just going through a very stressful time. And it's a constant, like, perpetual cycle that, I mean, for me, it's also connected with PCOS and hormone issues. Since I had my cortisol stress hormone being so high for such a long time, it also affected my body's ability to regulate in terms of sugar. So I became insulin resistant, and not necessarily resistant, but like insulin sensitive. So it all comes into play with sugar. Balancing your body's sugar is going to help you be happy, healthy, and being able to focus. So at the start of your day, never ever have something sweet without having protein first. I do a hack where I have a coffee with its half coffee and half protein, and sometimes I don't even take caffeine. I'm not a huge caffeine drinker, but really make sure that you incorporate that protein. It stabilizes blood sugar, it supports dopamine production, and helps you avoid the 2 p.m. crash. So make sure that you have breakfast, and when you have breakfast, make sure that it has protein. So that way you're not craving sugar and you don't have spikes of energy that go up and down, which is ultimately going to affect how much you can focus. So that was number 2. Number 3 is to double your time estimates. As a person who has trouble estimating how long things are going to take, I always tend to underestimate. If I think it's something it's going to take a week, it's probably going to take 2 weeks. If I think something's going to take 3 months, it's probably going to take 6 months. And I love the nature of my delusion of how motivated I am to do things and like how much effort I think it's going to take. But usually it takes a lot more. And I feel like that's been such a big lesson in the past year. So when you're giving somebody a deadline, when you're giving yourself a deadline and you think something's going to take a certain amount of time, please double it. If you think that amount of work you're going to do is going to take you 1 hour, chances are it's going to take you 2 if you really want to revise it, if you want to take your time, if you want to take a few breaks in between. So that's my recommendation to you. Doubling your time estimate builds in room for delays or distractions, which at the same time helps reduce stress and prevents you from feeling rushed, especially when juggling multiple responsibilities. So that was number 3. So far, we have wind up and wind down routines, protein-packed breakfast for sustained energy, double your time estimates, and let's go to number 4, keep a running to-do list. I have used different strategies, and I feel like I have different seasons for different stuff. And right now I'm in my to-do list era where like my to-do list is like the number one thing I look at every single day. And so I like having a single place that has all the things that I need to do. And it helps, instead of having it scattered throughout different places, I just have it in one simple Google Doc. And granted, from there, I take it to schedule it onto Google Calendar, but it's just such a good way to just center everything in one place. And it keeps you organized and ensures that nothing slips through the cracks. And seeing everything in one place, it also reduces your mental clutter and lets you prioritize for more efficiency. If you listen to my last episode, I talked about the Eisenhower matrix. So hopefully that also helps you. Let's move on to number 5, external reminders and cues. This has been my number one helper, guys. Having external cues like setting up an alarm clock, a sticky note, or like having physical reminders of stuff helps me so much. And it's not necessarily only things that you create, but stuff that are outside of you. So like, for example, now that I live with Jose, I know that most of the time he's going to come back home at 6:30 or 7 p.m. So then at that time, I know that by that time, I want to be finished with a certain task. So let's just say that you have something outside of yourself that happens every single day. Try to create a cue to do something with that. So for example, if you have kids that you have to go pick up at school, like, oh, every time before I go pick up my kids at school, I'm going to take 20 minutes to do this. And I feel like that really helps. Or if you have like a meeting scheduled with somebody at a certain time, it really helps. Okay, by this time, I want to have this. And I feel like that's a mindset that instills a little bit of urgency, but at the same time doesn't add all this pressure of like having a certain thing done by a certain time. But it's just a mental reminder. And I feel like the biggest thing with time management is just consciousness of where your time is going. Number 6 is embrace seasons of productivity. I am not the type of person that is full in her masculine energy and is going to tell you to be productive 365 days of the year. Productivity comes in seasons, and productivity looks different every single day, and it looks different every single week, especially for women. You know, I could go into cycle syncing as to sync the amount of activity that you have to do with the part of your cycle that you're in, because you're going to feel different every part of your cycle, right? When you're menstruating, when you're ovulating, in the follicular phase, and then in the luteal phase, like it's all going to be different. So make sure that you are compassionate with yourself and that you can assign different expectations for different parts of your life, for different times of your life. So if you know that this is a time where you have to be a caregiver to your parents, or that you have to do something that requires a lot of your time, don't expect the same as to when that is not the case, right? Make sure that you have that awareness to say, okay, I'm not going to hold myself to this unrealistic standard that I cannot do right now until I finish this or until the season changes. Then I'm going to focus on this, and that's completely okay. Some periods are for intense focus and work, and some other seasons are for rest and reflection. Listen to your body's natural rhythms and don't feel guilty for slowing down. This mindset is going to help you prevent burnout, because you cannot be productive every day of the year, and it's going to ensure you're working with and not against your energy. And I hope that you're realizing as I'm going in this podcast is that it's really about having that awareness and compassion for yourself. And I don't think I have this as part of the podcast, but I do have it a part of the guide. A huge part of doing a lot is letting go of that perfectionist mindset. I'm sorry to tell you, it's just the truth. If you want to do a lot, you're going to have to let go of doing it to the highest standard the first time you do it. And I strongly believe that you can grow doing multiple things, and that it will work out for you, and that you can reach a level that you're happy with in an amount of time that's acceptable. Yeah, like I was doing my Airbnb as I was being a content creator. I was also doing public speaking as I had a 9-to-5 job, and I got featured on media articles as I did that, and I gained thousands of followers during that time, and I ended up buying a house. So I strongly believe that just because you don't invest all the time doesn't mean it's not quality that can give you the outcome that you want. And the last tip that I have for you is to deprioritize non-essential tasks. What you have to understand, girly, is that not everything needs to be done right now. We all have big goals and big ideas and big things that we want to do, and you don't need to do 99% of them right now. When you have big priorities, it's okay to let lower priority tasks slide temporarily. And if you're a person that wants to do many things, you have to have that discipline to say, no, right now, I'm going to do 3 things instead of 5. And that's completely okay. And I think that's a big thing that I have done. I have so many other things that I want to do, but I just take it one step at a time. And a big thing is to follow your intuition as to what is it that you truly feel like you want to do right now in terms of big projects. And so these are my 7 tips for y'all. If you are liking them and resonating with them, I really hope that you take the time and download the guide. And I hope that you enjoy it and that it's helpful for you. So please give me any feedback that you receive. And as a reminder, there's 3 ways to work with me. You can hire me to go make a presentation or speech at your organization or school. You can join my group coaching program that's going to be live next year, or you can work with me one-on-one. I really worked with you to create a unique vision that's going to serve you. My one-on-one 4-month program is designed for high-achieving women who are ready to create a life or business that authentically reflects who they are. Through a blend of self-discovery, mindset reprogramming, and strategic guidance, you'll gain clarity to build a vision for a fulfilling business and a personal path, all while staying true to your values and aspirations. Unlike traditional business coaching, this isn't about providing a rigid structure or a step-by-step guide to building a business or brand. It's more about empowering you to explore your creative potential and align your business ideas and your personal identity to co-create a path forward. Together, we'll harness your inner strengths, brainstorm ideas, and uncover what truly lights you up. As a coach, I'm not positioning myself as the ultimate business expert, but rather as a guide and partner who will help you access your own unique voice and your own unique potential. My program is very flexible and it's about co-creating, focusing both on personal development and professional growth. There are no strict timelines for me or predetermined paths. Instead, we'll adapt our sessions to what you need from me, and I'll meet you where you are and provide the support as you evolve. I really have 5 things that I like to work with people on. 1 is personal identity and vision exploration. You cannot get to work if you do not know who you are. You need to have a very strong foundation of what brings you confidence, what is your story, and what do you feel grounded in. The second thing is goal setting and strategy. We're going to set goals that reflect your personal values and aspirations, whether that's building a business, launching a brand, or pursuing a new career path. We'll develop a general action plan that provides direction, allowing flexibility to achieve your goals. Number 3 is to have a creative ideation and co-creation. I love this part because it's engaging and collaborative brainstorming sessions based on my experience of creating many things to generate fresh ideas and explore business or personal opportunities that align with your strengths. Use my support as a sounding board to develop creative solutions and unique approaches that resonate with your identity. Number 4, a big part of it is mindset reprogramming. We need to identify and really dive deep into your limiting beliefs that may be holding you back. Practice that mindset shifts to step into your authentic power as a leader and a creator, and that's what I'm going to help you do. The last thing is ongoing reflection and adaptation. You're going to have somebody that you have 1 hour each week to talk about you 3 times a month of regular check-ins to celebrate your progress and process, reassess your goals, and ensure you're continuing to be aligned. I love to focus on balancing. I'm sure the people that I like working with to balance their professional ambitions with personal well-being while maintaining an authentic, fulfilling lifestyle. If you want to work with me, I think a great reason for somebody to work with me is because they want to create a business or a brand that feels aligned with who you are. They want to feel more confident in leveraging their unique talents and experiences. They want to gain clarity and overcome self-doubt to step into their full potential and develop a fulfilling, balanced life that reflects your authentic self. And I love leading women in doing this because I have done that. I went from having a 9-to-5 job in tech, which at the time I thought was my dream life, traveling the world while being remote. But I realized that the work that I was doing was deeply unfulfilling. And the work that I do now through content creation, through public speaking, is share my story and inspire others to follow their dreams. And I work from home. I can work from anywhere. I have brought myself the liberty to be with the partner that I want and create the life that I want. And I want that for you. What you'll gain of working with me is a deeper understanding of your personal identity, strengths, and vision for the future. You'll gain clarity and confidence in setting meaningful goals and pursuing new opportunities. You'll also gain creative solutions and fresh perspectives for building a business or a brand. This is a 4-month program, 3 meetings per month. Each meeting will be 1 hour long. How it works is that you can click the link in the show notes and then schedule a call with me to see if we're a good fit. Once we talk, we'll decide if we're a good fit, and then we can set the time that we're going to meet 3 times a month. You'll have ongoing support from me. I am deeply committed to seeing you succeed, and I can't wait to work together. You are already doing amazing, and with my support, I cannot wait to see all the progress and you reaching your goals together. Les mando un fuerte abrazo y se cuidan muchísimo. Los quiero, chavos.